Jessie is a nurse at the Vernon Friendship Center. And she's from the Shuswap people. So Jessie will be our first presenter. We're trying to keep these presentations to about 10 minutes each, and then we'll have another opportunity for the floor to open up with all the presenters, including these ones up here. So with that, I introduce Jessie.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As the moderator said, my name is Jessie Nyberg, and my family are from the Canoe Creek Band and Bonaparte Band on mother and father's side. And I have been a practicing nurse for 44 years. But in the next 2 weeks, I'm retiring as the coordinator of the Aboriginal Infant and Early Childhood Development Program of the Friendship Center in Vernon. I am and always will be a strong advocate for improved health status for our people, and in particular for our children, because they're our future. Over the years, I've heard many terms used in regard to how we might ensure quality care for our people. Terms like cultural awareness, which I think means that we are aware and acknowledge difference, cultural sensitivity, the recognition of the importance of respecting the difference, and is often associated with cross-cultural education or diversity training, cultural competence, which describes the skills, knowledge, and attitudes in actual professional practice, and last but not least, cultural appropriate. Can you imagine the knowledge one might have to know of all existing cultures, as we never know who we might provide service to? Oftentimes, I've asked to have these terms explained to me and how we would actually use them in practice, and I've had few easy answers. A few years ago, I was fortunate enough to attend a World Indigenous Women and Wellness gathering in Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, and heard the term cultural safety, which was coined, of course, by a nurse. I was so excited. These two words, finally something I felt I could understand and hope see put into practice. To help explain my thoughts on cultural safety, I've used and read many articles and papers, but in particular the Guidelines for Cultural Safety, the Treaty of Waitangi and Maori Health and Nursing Education and Practice, and a paper written by Robin Williams, a lecturer in Indigenous Health in New Zealand. So what does cultural safety mean to me? It means it is an environment that I am comfortable to work in which I am respected and valued, neither discriminated or judged for who I am, and the people that I provide service to also feel comfortable, respected, valued, safe, not discriminated for who they are. They feel that the service they are there to receive is safe and equitable. Do I work in a culturally safe environment? Actually, you know, at the First Nations Friendship Center, I really do believe that I work in a culturally safe environment. I work with my own people, therefore with my own culture, tradition. Unfortunately, I don't know my own language. And more importantly, I am working within the dominant cultural group of that Friendship Center. By understanding my own and their culture and how I operate within that culture provides the space from which it's more sensible and often easier to reflect upon the cultural safety of the other. For example, it's often known that we prefer to use our own traditional medicine and Western medicine if it's necessary. Working at the Friendship Center, this doesn't become a big issue because we are, again, the dominant cultural group. Another reason that I feel that I am working in a culturally safe environment is that as an Aboriginal person, I've always been taught to respect other people's values and try not to impose my values upon them. That they are empowered to make their own decisions within their own value system. However, that's something that I know I've had to relearn because our value system was not respected, and we were made to go to residential schools and had another value system put upon us. And those things are hard to get rid of, as I'm sure we all know. I feel that cultural safety must be a part of each practitioner. Sometimes the inclusion of the patient and client or staff member into the dominant culture of that organization or whatever may be enough. Valuing and respecting others' cultural practices, different knowledge and tradition is extremely important. Another part of cultural safety is acknowledging and respecting the client and empowering them to make decisions they wish in regards to the service they are willing to receive. I thought it was very interesting as I was reading through that I saw this poem that was written by John Morgan from Message Stick, and it's called Nothing's Really Changed. We watched their ships come in as they landed on our shores. What kind of people were they? We weren't really sure. At first they acted friendly, sharing what they had, like flour, tea, and sugar. Once that we had accepted them, things began to change. That's when we heard the gunshots and the rattling of the chains. Now the rest is history, and nothing's really changed. Because here today in 2007, we still wear the ball and change. And my final thoughts are that cultural safety should be a part of our life from birth. Cultural safety should be practiced in all walks of life, not just in the health care field or other service provision. Wherever there's interaction between two people, we should feel culturally safe. And I feel that as it was said earlier, that cultural safety, if it's now coming into being and it's not with us from birth, then we certainly must look to adding it to the curriculum even at the kindergarten and elementary age and on up through the hierarchy of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessie.